Hello, hello. What do we got? We got one, two, we got David in here. We got 3 students. Well, for those who are with us today, hello, my name is Andrew. I will be your instructor for the next couple of weeks. We are learning a very fun topic for these next few weeks. I think it's about 10 weeks. We are learning Python, and this is the latest and greatest in computer programming. So I hope you are all excited. We're going to have some introductions to start the session off, but for now we're just waiting for everybody to filter in, as it does not officially start until I believe 4:45. So if you have any questions though, please feel free to let me know. You could turn on your either mic or turn on your video. But in the meantime, I'll just be here. Yeah. Sophie Chen. There we go. Sophie's in. And just again, I'm waiting for everybody to filter in. I think we should have a couple more students, joining us on this fine Sunday evening, or wherever you are in the world, or whatever time it is. You could use Python to calculate different time zones. So like I was saying, there's a broad range of applications for this, and not only is it applicable, but it's a lot of fun to learn. I'll be sharing my screen. But actually, like I said, this first meeting will be an introductions meeting for the first 15 minutes, just to see where you're at, what you want to do with Python, because we're going to get that today. There's a lot of things you could do with Python, but what's more important is what you want to do with Python, because it's a very versatile, all-encompassing programming language, but you have to think, what do you want to build? And you could build anything from websites, you could build computer graphics, you can build video games, lots more. You could do just about anything with Python, but in this first introduction session, I want you to determine, what do you want to build with Python? So as we're waiting for, and I'm not sure if we're still waiting, I think there's still be a few more people, getting in. Yeah, I see William.
Number 6 is coming.
Yeah, William is now in. Hello, William. Before we start, so I'm waiting for people to filter in, but while I'm waiting, you guys could think about because I'm going to ask you a few questions, so you might as well prepare. I'm going to ask you, what's your name? I don't think you'll have to prepare for that one. That's a pretty straightforward. What's your favorite subject? Which might be a little more difficult than the first one. And then the third question, arguably the most important, is what do you want to build with Python? That's important. What do you want to build with Python? So right now we got, in terms of students, we got Anne, we got Aiden, Sophie, Joyce, and William. So hello to all. We got about, that's 5 of you.
How about we ask a student to introduce themselves one by one?
All right, so we can go through it. See, Nelson's just joining. So yeah. All right, hope you thought about those questions. Luckily for you, we'll start off with the easy one is of what is your name? So we'll go in the order I see you guys, and maybe it does alphabetical, but Anne, I see Anne Shen. Can you go first? I'll help you out with the questions if you forget. But first one is, what is your name? So just introduce, and if you can, it might be easier if you press the little the video tab on the bottom left of Zoom, so people in the class could see who you are, and maybe that'll be a little bit better to introduce yourself to your fellow classmates.
I'm Anne, and my favorite subject is art, and I want to games.
Games, excellent choice. And you could do you could do all types of games with Python. There's so many libraries. We're gonna learn all about it. Great job, Anne. Next we will go Aiden. Aiden.
My name is Aiden. My favorite subject is math. And what I want to do with Python is learn how to code robots.
That's cool. Very cool. I'm a math guy too. Next, we will say William. Take it away, William.
My name is William, and my favorite subject is reading. And what I want to do in Python is to learn how to code.
What specifically do you want to code in Python? Like games, like websites? You're into reading. Do you want to do like
Websites.
a robot that reads?
Websites.
Websites. That's a good answer. Yeah, you could build so many websites with Python. It's a library called Django, but it's very interesting. We'll touch on that in a bit. But we got now Sophie. Sophie, tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Sophie. My favorite subject is science. I wanna code some games. I think that would be cool. Also, my dog is growling.
I think he wants to code, Sophie. I think you should help him design a game. That could be cool if you design a game about dogs. Who knows? Next, we will choose Joyce. Joyce, take it away.
My name is Ryan, and my favorite subject is math because it's the easiest.
Okay, Ryan, if we could just possibly, I don't know, not quite familiar with this, but if you could change your name so it's easier on me, because right now it's coming up as Joyce. Maybe it's possible to change your name on Zoom, but if at all, oh yeah, I think you could go to, there's a blue thing with 3 dots on there, but you'll find it. I have full confidence. So what about the last question?
I got it.
You got it. What do you want to build with Python?
I would like to learn to code and make games.
Good choice. Very good choice. Like I said, we will be making a lot of games, and I know that's hugely popular. My personal take is that, playing games is fun, playing whatever games you want. I know there's a lot of options, Fortnite or whatever. But you know what's cooler than playing games? Making your own game, being able to customize it how you want. It's a very good skill that you're gonna be really thankful you learned this early on. So yeah, we're gonna make a lot of games, that's for sure. I see Ryan, thank you for changing your name. That's very good. Next we got Nelson. Nelson, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nelson, and my favorite subject is probably English.
What would you want to build in Python?
I would like to learn how to script and code, I guess.
What specifically? I know you're into English. There's a lot being done with this area it's called natural language processing. This is a field that kind of combines English with coding. So it takes code and analyzes, English or written text. So that might be a nice area to go into. Next, and I think last, we got Ollie. Ollie, what's up, Ollie?
Hello, my name is Olivia, but most people call me Ollie. My favorite subject, I don't really have a favorite subject, but right now I'll say English.
English, cool. So what would you want to build with Python?
I think, I don't know, I think coding is really cool. I think the idea of making your own game is cool, so probably that.
Very nice. And
Thank
it is,
you.
yeah, it's very cool. And it's surprisingly more easy than you would expect. And we're going to get into all of that today. We're going to start with just the very basics, because who here, have all of you guys heard of Python? Just for me to get a sense of where you guys are at. Just you could either say it or type in the chat. I know there's a chat function. Let me just get that out, right? Where's the chat? I actually don't see the chat. Do you guys see a chat? Oh wait, here. I see the chat. So hello. So type Y if you heard of Python before. Type N if you haven't.
It's disabled. The chat is disabled.
Chat is disabled. Chat is disabled.
Really?
Chat.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Okay. I will try to fix that. I
For
see
now,
the
you
chat
could
here.
just.
Chat here is okay for me. I can see your chat. You type yes or no, hello, something.
Right. So Ryan, can you see it by any chance? Can you see the chat? My my little hello type Y. Ryan's went AWOL. Okay. So what
I
about?
think the chat is set that only the host can type in it.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Okay.
maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Let me double check. Okay, you can continue. Sorry
All right.
about that.
So Ollie, have you heard of Python before?
No, but I learned coding when I was in elementary school and we used another website.
What website was it? Was it Scratch by any chance?
Yeah, I think it was Scratch.
Scratch. Okay. What about you, Sophie? Have you heard of Python?
Yeah, but I never did it. I only did those websites where like they would do the blocks. You have to connect the blocks.
Okay, so everybody knows Scratch. So this is like Python is like one step up from Scratch. Scratch is it's easy, and you can make a lot of cool stuff from it. But when you get into the real world, or at least up a level up of Scratch, Python, it's a little bit harder, but you could make a lot cooler things with it. Like you could people use the people at NASA, and we'll go into that slide later. I'm gonna share screen really quick. Let's see, desktop one. Yeah, we could just do this. Does everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Everybody's okay. So first of all, it's not as popular as Scratch. Well, why is that? So Scratch is easy to learn, but it has its limitations. Its upside, its advantage is that it's very easy. It's intuitive. You look at a blocks and you place it together. But with Python, what it could do is a lot more, and we'll see that. Who uses Python? At whatever company you could think of, any company. I don't care if it's NASA got over here, you got Google, YouTube, the videos that you look at every day. You think that the videos just come out of nowhere, just pop out of nowhere? Absolutely not. There's people with their computer typing away in Python, and that connects the video that you want to see of whatever music video is trending or whatever you like. And Python brings it to you. And it's all through code and computers, but it's all done in Python. And as you could see, Python is the #1 programming language. And this is not just for people your age. This is not just for, 10-year-olds, things. No, this is popular programming language across the board for everyone. I use Python. David uses Python. The people, look, when you go to NASA, this is the most scientific, technologically advanced companies in the world. Google, YouTube, NASA, and they all use Python. So you're learning a valuable skill. And whatever company you like, even Fortnite and all the games, programming games, you're gonna have to use Python, or at least some variant of Python. So as we were saying, Python is the #1 language. I don't know if anybody has heard of the ones under these, but it's not important for this course. Python is the one we will be studying. That brings the question, as I take a sip of this nice water. Why learn Python? Why are we learning this? Why can't we just use Scratch? Why can't we just, you want to create a game, let's just make a board game, make Monopoly. Well, why? Before we go into this, you could do so much with Python. You can make any type of game, any type of, as long as it's compatible with the computer. And you're going to see that it's a general purpose programming language, so it can be used for a multitude of different things. And it's object oriented. Now, I don't expect you guys to know what that means immediately, but in the later sessions, we will get into what it means to be object oriented, because that is a very important distinction, and it's a new revelation, new paradigm in programming. Python is beginner friendly. The way when I was first learning Python, I was explained that, well, first I learned this other language called Java, and it is very hard to understand. Let me just give you a little breakdown right here. Java code, my little things. Oh wait, I don't know if you could see. Let me undo that screen sharing. New share desktop 1. Okay, now you can see my whole screen, I think. Please let me know if you don't see it. But here, this is something called Java, and I'll just, it's very good for you to know. not know Java, but know the distinction. So this is Java. So just look on your screen right now. This is Java. How complicated does this look? This looks, I have no idea what java.io exception, semicolon, public string empty, like Tomcat. What's a Tomcat? I thought that's not a cat. You know what I'm saying? It's very, not intuitive. Python, on the other hand, very intuitive. So we're going to see that in a bit once we get you guys to, make some programs on your own. But for the time being, I'm going to show you how intuitive Python is. So all I have to do, guys, what do you think this does? Like, you guys see this print hello class right here. What do you think that would do? Well, let's see. Oh, it prints hello class. So that's what it means by it's very intuitive, very simple. Like it's almost like English. It's like a language we would speak. And that's the way it was introduced to me. That's the appeal of it, because it's so intuitive and easy to use. But it also has the potential to make really cool projects, whereas Scratch and the more basic programming, you're kind of limited. So this kind of gets the best of both worlds, and that's why I'm really excited to teach it to all of you over these next couple of weeks and months. So we got a lot to cover. Lot to cover. Let's see what we got here. So let me just see where, okay, we'll use this one. Oh, didn't I have another? Okay. Very flexible, right? So we're gonna see, you could use it for pretty much anything, but we're gonna get to that in a bit. We don't want to spoil it, right? We want to see, there's a lot of stuff you could do, but we don't want to give it away immediately. And we're going to see a lot of cool companies that also use it. But I think that's all. Yeah, general purpose, beginner friendly. Really, you guys, like, if you know Scratch, like I'm presuming most of you guys at least did some sort of program. Is there anybody who has no programming experience whatsoever? Like none. And don't be shy. Just say if you have no programming experience. But I think all of you do. I think all of you at least know the basics. It's very beginner friendly, very good for a beginner. We use Python. We went over this. Walt Disney uses for animation, and this is the games I was talking about. This is Battlefield 2. It's a game. So no, it's not just highly science. It's stuff for cool things like games. Graphics. When you're looking at your computer right now, it's mainly JavaScript, but there is Python included, so it's very applicable in your day-to-day life. It's not just some random esoteric thing that you just it's only used by scientists in their in a lab. So it's very applicable and relatable in the real world. So how good is Python? So if we're just learning Scratch can't do much, but it's a good stepping stone. What could Python do? Well, NASA uses Python for cryptography and intelligence analysis. So if it wants to decipher codes, like secret codes, like top secret codes, it will use Python. Python has libraries for this. It is well suited to do that. And look at all these diverse uses. YouTube for video sharing. The whole system is written in Python. So I know all of you have been on YouTube, and many of you, I'm assuming, love YouTube. It's all Python. It's really all Python. To make a site like YouTube, pretty much all you need is Python. So, a valuable skill. Google, you ever go on Google I mean, I don't have to ask that question, right? All you guys been on Google. Python is used there. Netflix uses Python to watch, whenever you want to watch a movie. It's same YouTube, Netflix, very similar, but it's all based on Python. Raspberry Pi, I know there's a couple people that really had an interest in robots that said they were, interested. Well, Raspberry Pi is how you connect Python with hardware. And what is hardware? Hardware, just think of like, the physical, like a robot. There's multitude of ways to connect Python with, real physical objects. Dropbox, I don't think any of you guys know what Dropbox is, but it's huge, huge. So now, what could I do with Python? And I know a lot of you guys are right here. A lot of you guys want to go into games. I know you're all playing your games and you're like, oh, I wish I could, I wish my character could like jump higher. Well, how do you do that? Well, you create your own game. You don't need to play someone else's game. You make your own game. Then you could customize it. So you could really, Python is the way to do this. And that's the way to go. A couple of you said websites. Yeah, you can create websites. GUI application. What is a GUI application? Well, what do you want now? Look at your applications tab. Zoom, the Zoom app, that is a GUI application. So say you want to make a whole another app, like a Zoom app, but you want to make like cooler filters, like cooler background filters, or whatever you want, like multiple people sharing at the same time, stuff like that. Because Zoom doesn't have that. That might be a good idea for you. But yeah, create an application, create a website, scrape data. Does anybody know what scraping data? Ali, do you know, have you ever heard of scraping data from a website?
No, sorry.
And what about you? Have you heard the term, or anybody, have you heard the term scraping data from a website? Well, so oh wait, I might be getting some in the chat. I think the chat is working. Yeah. So, okay. Well, what is scraping? What does it sound like? Scrape.
Wait, is it when like a website collects data from you while you're using it?
That's one way of scraping data. But that's by the website. If you want to scrape, like, you could scrape data without having to make a website at all. And that's the fun part. So what is scraping? It's scrape something from the bottom. You kind of collect stuff on the surface. So think of what a website is. You have a website like this. Let's just do this is a kind of a boring website to scrape, honestly. If you wanted to do something fun like Bloomberg, I'll do this. It's a lot of stuff. Oh wow, TikTok. You guys all love TikTok. If you wanted to scrape something like Bloomberg, you could scrape all the text. So you code in Python. Every time you see the word Bloomberg, scrape it, and it can count how many times it says Bloomberg. I'm assuming it's a lot, because I mean, you got Bloomberg Green. It's probably 50 times. But if I wanted to check that number, I would scrape all the data from this web page right now that I'm looking at, and I would see how many times it took. And you could scrape a lot more things. You could scrape all the pictures and images, like all these images right here, image, all right here, and you could scrape it, so you could collect it and organize it, and you could have it all for yourself. You could a lot of things with scraping data, but we'll get rid of that just for an example. And by the way, I think all of you guys were at least invited, but there's a couple people that have not accepted. This is the Google Classroom. This is what we will be using for the post assignments, and most importantly, for you to make your cool projects and share it with the class. So this is very important that you guys join. So If you don't have permission, ask your parents to join. This is the Google Classroom. Very important. Don't worry, it's going to be all fun assignments. There's not going to be things terribly difficult. You're going to have a lot of fun, I promise. Let's see. Yeah, you can analyze data. So once you scrape the data, now that I scraped the data, how many times it says Bloomberg, or I skip all the words. Analyzing the data is actually how many times it says in the case Bloomberg. So that's how you analyze different statistics, and if you wanted to scrape all the data from YouTube, all the videos that you could ever watch on YouTube, and you want to see which video has the highest view count. Well, first, how do you do that? You scrape all the data from YouTube, or the important data, maybe not the weird comments at the bottom, but you scrape the view. You want to scrape the view count from YouTube. Then to analyze data, you could do this all in Python. That's the greatest part. You don't have to, switch from this to this. You get the data from Python, and then you use Python to say, oh, which is the highest viewed video on YouTube, which I have no clue, but if you know the answer to that, definitely put it in the chat, or use Python, but we haven't covered that yet. System administration says this is a little bit more advanced, but definitely not as cool as game development. So it could do a lot. And like I was saying, web development, there's a lot of, it's called frameworks. We'll get into that. But it's different feature. It's like different features of Python. So Django, it's a feature of Python that lets you, create cool web applications. Web scraping, so there's tools for that. Data analysis, it's called pandas. Look at this cool little panda right here. So he's going to let you collect all those cool stats about how popular a YouTube video is, or what's the most popular word in a comment. That's what I always wondered. What is the most used word in a comment? And you can't find. The thing is, with coding, it's so important because you can't figure out that by yourself. Imagine if you tried to just look in the comment section of it's impossible. There's a YouTube video posted. I don't know the stats for this, but I think there's like a couple dozen every second. Has to be, or at least one every second, something like that. It'd be impossible to look through all the comments, and there's just too much. The way to do it though is through Python or some computer program, but Python is the one that most people use. And since most people use it, it has a lot of libraries and a lot of functions. That's where you get all this cool stuff. Computer graphics. Well, what's a computer? It's what you're looking at now. Your screen in front of you, that's computer graphics. Machine learning. We're not going to learn that, but that's very complicated. That's like how computers can think for itself, if that's even possible. I don't know. It's a very debated question, but we'll learn about that later on. Don't focus on that yet. Big data. There's so much data in the world. Like I said, you can't possibly, if you had a microscope or whatever, you're looking at it manually, like a bunch of papers with all the data. It's impossible to read it all. Well, how do you make sense of it all? Python. So getting started with Python, I don't know. Let me see why doesn't it give the little tab thing on the right? That would be nice. Okay. So who made Python? So you got Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook. We got, Orville and Wilbur Wright invented the airplane. Who invented Python? Well, it's this guy. This guy right here. Right here. His name is Guido van Rossum. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but this is the guy who invented the language, the most popular language there is. And he created a language that is used by all of the companies that you and I know and love and use every day. Object-oriented, we'll get that in a little bit. Python 2 or 3. Well, it's a very interesting picture. We came out with Python 2 about 2000, something like that, about 20 years ago. And it had some cool features, like it's a popular language, but it got revamped. It's like it got like boosted. If you're in the game, you get a power up. That's like Python 3. I mean, you could do a lot of, and it's much more cleaner. It's much more easy to use. So that came in 2008. So there's been evolutions of Python. But yeah, we're gonna use Python 3. I like how this says this puts it into the best way. Python 3 is just, it's shiny, it's new, so we use it essentially. Now there's many different ways to install Python, and it's dependent on your system, but you just go to, it's a very simple website. You could just type Python into Google, right? Just do Python, click on the first link. It's very easy, python.org. And I'm sure if you mess it up and do python.com, that will just redirect, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. Let's hope that's not. Okay. Well, this is python.org. Go to python.org, everybody. This is the one. This is the site that you do want to go to. You want to press downloads, and it's dependent on your system. I don't know what's the spread, who has Mac, who has PC, but whatever your system is, just click download. It already detects that I'm on a Mac, so it has it right there. Hopefully it does that same with your computer. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to use something like this for the basics, just to get you, because I know it could take a while for everyone to get on the same page and, oh, I can't download this, or, oh, my software is not compatible. So we're going to use something like this. It's called a text editor. So this will allow us to use Python, but all we have to do is just go to a website. We don't have to download anything. It's just all here, all for us to use. But if you do want to download it, it's right here on python.org. Yeah, so it's a little bit complicated, but just install like anything that, whenever it says recommended, just click that. It's very easy. You don't worry about this. It'll already check it for you. So just keep pressing next, finish. You guys know how to download stuff. I'm fully confident in your ability to do this. Running Python programs. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to do it. If you want to go, and this is the way we're going to do it for at least the first couple of sessions to get used to it. But eventually, we are going to be, where was that? So this is called a Python shell. So the shell it's like an application for your computer where you could go directly and write Python code. So you could save it to a file on your computer, so you could have it forever. See, if you have Code Sculptor and you print this, but then maybe you leave Code Sculptor, unless you copy and paste it. But if you go here, see, it's gonna, you're gonna be, oh, where'd I put imagine you made like the best game ever, and then you just like refreshed and you forgot to save it. So that's why we have things like this. Hello.py. So I know you see or I guess I could put it like that, .com. There's dots to classify certain things. So we use .py in Python land. Print function. Who could tell me what a print function is? Aiden, could you give your hypothesis on what a print function does?
Print a function. Print,
Very
print.
circular. What, can you say it without using the word print?
It just shows in the program what you put in the parentheses.
That's very good. Yes. So it shows in the program. So what if I write print? What is Python gonna do? Aiden, help me out. What is Python gonna
It will say my name is Andrew.
do? Will it say print?
No, it will just say my name is Andrew.
Okay, okay. And look, he's right. It'll just say my name is Andrew. So print is basically like writing. Think of it as like if you print. So you have a pen, paper, you write something down. If I say write your name, you're not gonna write your name, you're gonna write your name. So these are called parentheses, anything in parentheses. So Aiden, what happens if I do this? What if I do this? What's gonna come out?
I won't print anything.
Well, why not? It says print my name is
Because
Andrew.
you need your quotation marks.
All right, you need quotation. So like I said, Python is very intuitive, meaning that what you see is kind of what you get. You could kind of assume, but it is a programming language. You are telling a computer to do, and a computer needs to be instructed a little bit more than a human would. So it has very specific rules that the human must follow. You must follow if you want to get the program to run. Because if you don't, so what's going to happen if I do this? We could see that an error is going to pop up. It doesn't like it. Syntax error. Bad input. Why is it calling my input bad? Ah. So why is it giving me a syntax? Well, like Aiden told us, we need parentheses. So now it's fixed it. Oh no, it's all good. My name is Andrew. Perfect. So yeah. Always make sure you put quotations around. That's when printing something. So this is for your program, your command line program. We are going to use, you know, our it's called the IDE, integrated development environment for now. So we're not going to worry about that too much. This is it's calling it a visually run Python code, which is, I mean, it's what it does. It prints on, you have your code on one side and your output on the other. So you could see exactly what you're doing. You don't have to, you could kind of test things out a lot easier. So it's very interactive. I have yet to see all the things that could be done with this, but this, if you see here, it shows exactly how Python is thinking. So you write your code and all of this stuff, and it will show you not only the result, so it won't just print C, like it won't just do your code. It'll show you how it got to your code, which is very cool, because that could give you exactly, you know, the thinking, the mindset of a computer. So it could turn you into a robot. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. All right. So right now I gotta ask the class, just get a general overview. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody, you know, is it too much? Is it, oh, there's so much you could do with Python, like I'm overwhelmed? There's everybody feeling, you know, pretty good about it? Everybody's good. So I like that. I like that. William's good. Sophie's good. Ann's good. All right. I'll put it a different way. And I know what the answer is going to be. Does anybody not feel comfortable with this yet? It's very easy, especially when we're just getting started. But I can't just take you at face value. You gotta, prove to me that you could handle this. And what we're gonna do now? Well, we're gonna test out your skills. You're saying you're comfortable. You're saying you got it handled. But right now, we're gonna rotate through the class, and I'm gonna post something. I'm gonna do my print, and I'm gonna see if you listen to the lesson and you know what it's gonna print out. What have I not done? Where'd it go? Oh yeah. Sophie's got it already. Well, Sophie's got it. Well, I was gonna ask you guys individually. Okay. All right. So we'll put quotations around it. All right. We'll put quotations around it. All right. I'm not gonna trick you. So what's it gonna do here? We put a quotation around it. What's it gonna run? Nelson, can you tell me what's gonna run? Get an error.
It's not gonna work.
Why? We got the print. Hello, we got the
One
quotation.
of the quotations.
Oh, because I'm missing the quotation on the other side. You gotta have both quotations, and you know if it's in both quotations, when it has it, it's gonna make a different color. So on this channel, on this website, it comes up as red. It's right here. So yeah, you guys, it's hard to trick you guys. You guys came into this with pretty refined skills, so you know. All right. So what about this? So Python could do everything. I mean, if it's in NASA, we saw that it's in NASA right here. I mean, if it could send spaceships to space, it could do, I'm sure it could do arithmetic, I'm sure it could do basic addition, right? So how smart is Python? Which one of you could think that, I mean, I certainly would hope that Python could do addition. So is this going to do 4? What is it going to do? We're going to print 4? All right. So we got Sophie saying she doesn't know. So here I'm trying to trick you again. So we got a situation where, if you gave this to a human, if someone said like print 2 + 2, a human would just be like, oh, 4. Like maybe they'll say 5, like if they're young, or maybe if they're old and really don't know basic math, didn't pay attention in school. Pay attention in math class. But yeah, for the most part, humans are intuitive. But like I said before, if you remember way back when, I said that computer programs need a specific set of instructions. And remember what I said, whatever is within the quotation marks, and for now we're going to use these single quotations. Python could do any amount of quotation marks. You could do double quotation marks, or you could do single quotation. We're going to take a single quotation marks just for simplicity's sake. But like Ryan and William are saying, yes, Python will literally print 2 + 2 on the screen, and we'll see that right now. Yeah, it's printing 2 + 2 to the screen. So how do we fix that? How do we get it to say, you know, what everyone wants it to say. I mean, everybody's waiting for the answer is how educated is Python? Did Python go to elementary school? Does it know that 2 + 2 = 4? Or does Python know something we don't know? So how do we fix that? Can anybody tell me? How do we get Python to evaluate a math function? Sophie, could you possibly help me out? I'm having a tough time, you know. Ollie, can you help her out? How can we?
Do you add an equal sign?
So,
That was
and this is a hard one. No, all you guys. So this is where we're at. It's good that I'm getting a sense of what the class needs. So,
Oh wait, I think you like put answer 2 + 2.
no, Python's even more simple than that. And Aiden is the one who gets it. Yeah, you could just remember when we got an error when we did just random strings and it says an error. But if we put numbers in it, it just pops out the answer. So you get rid of the quotation marks only when it's for math. Does anybody know what a string is? Who could tell me what a string is? I mean, not like, you know, like a thread, you know, but what is a string in computer science terms? And don't worry if you don't know this. We're going to go over this in next week's lecture. Nelson, have you heard of a string before? I hear someone playing music in the background. But I want to, Sophie heard that too. But I want to know, what is a string? Can anybody tell me, or is everybody? Well, a string is, and we're going to get to that later. A string is basically it's text. It's, you know, anything that's not numbers, not operators. String is, it could be caps lock, it could be lowercase or a mixture of lowercase, but this is a string. So when you have a string, you need to put these quotation marks, but if you're working with numbers, you don't need it. So you could do, you know, 2 + 2, and this will give me 4. So Aiden, I mean, if you have two times 2, I mean, this is easy. I mean, Aiden, I know you're good at math, but can you tell me what's going to evaluate here? What's the computer going to evaluate Python?
I think it's an error.
Well, I mean, 2 times 2, I mean.
Because the X is a letter.
Oh, see, you might be onto something. So X is a letter, so that is part of a string. And what did we say about strings without quotation marks? That gives an error.
Do you put like a dot in between then?
So would this work? Oh, it's obviously you guys can't see with the other. Oh, it works. Okay, that's pretty good. You know, so our guy Guido right here, he had to think of that. My man right here, he had to be like, oh, well, if Python sees, I mean, to us, it looks like obviously like 2 times 2, like, you know, 2x2, obviously 2x5 = 10. But remember, Python has specific instructions. So 2 times 5, yeah, that's going to give an error. Bad input. I like how it says bad input. It really, bad input. So 2 times 5, and okay, so I'm gonna. That's cool. That's cool. Who knows what exponents are? Does anybody know what exponents are? Has anybody seen, it's like one number here and then there's a number that's kind of like floats above it?
Yeah.
Am I dumbing it down too much? Okay, you guys are experienced with this. What grade are you guys in for just so I can get a general sweep of where you're at in math? What are you guys learning in math, or what grade are you in? 4th. Is anybody in 6th or higher? 6th grade or higher?
I'm a high school freshman.
High school freshman. So we got a range of people. So we'll stick to the Python and be liberal with the math. Is there anybody younger than 3rd grade? Like 3rd grade or younger? You don't have to say, you could just put it in the chat. Okay, so seems like we have 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then we got 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And I'm assuming 4th is the lowest. 4th is the lowest. So we all got pretty solid math skills, I'm assuming. So exponents are just multiplying the amount of times, specifying the amount of times we will multiply it with itself. Where did it go? Here. All right. So why did I bring that up? Oh wow. Okay. How do you do I can't like, there's no, what am I supposed to do? Do here and then like 2 to the, guys, is this how we program? Is this how we program? Is it going to do 2 times 2 times 2? I mean, this guy was smart. Let's be real. Guido.
Oh, you have to
smart.
use that like caret thing, right? The arrow that points up.
So that would be that's what we would think. That's what we would suppose. Yeah, unfortunately, no. This is not how we program. It's not going to work. That'd be cool though, but you got to be a little bit more direct. So here, what? 2 to the caret 3. It's saying it's 1. Maybe he wasn't as smart as we thought. I mean, that's a joke. 2 to 3 is 1? I mean, no, it can't be. Let me double check that. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. It's 8. But Google uses Python. Where Google uses Python, but it's wrong. So maybe Python's not as good as we thought. No. Why is it happening? Does anybody know why? And this is a little bit more advanced.
Maybe if
not too advanced.
maybe it's a different symbol.
That would be the logical. Yeah, it's probably a different symbol. So yeah, you could do 2 times 2, 2 times 2, but yeah, and it gives you 8. Okay, so Google is not dumb. So we got Google. We're confirming the answer right here. So, but what if we want to do something like, 2 to the, to the 50th. Are we really gonna sit out, you know, how long is this gonna take? If I just did this 50 times, I mean, I guess you could copy and paste. You do that, but then you have to count it all? No. So the trick here is, this is all what you all been waiting for. Print 2, and it's the double asterisk sign right here, the double star. 2 times. This is the exponent. That gives 8. 2 times. Who could tell me what 2 to the 5th is? I'm not going to post it in this yet. Who will be the first to tell me what 2 to the 5th is? And honestly, I think it might be good if everybody just got onto this site. So I'm just going to post this to everyone in the meeting right here. Because then when I ask you cool math questions like this, that might be, hard to count on your hands or whatnot, you could just go into Code Sculptor and get started with Python. So guys, everybody go to that site right now. All you guys, Sophie, Aiden, Ollie, William, Ann, Nelson, Ryan, all you, go to codesculptor.org, and I posted a link in the chat. Just click the link and you'll go to a site that looks like this. And you guys know how to highlight stuff and delete it. And then you have what I'm looking at. So you just post a bunch of stuff. So if I ask you what's 2 to the 5th, yeah, you could maybe multiply. I mean, if you're a math whiz, it might take you maybe a minute to do 2 times 2, and then that's 4, and then times 2, and just do that a bunch of times. But who could tell me what 2 to the 5th is? 32.
Me too.
So why did they get it so fast? And maybe they're actually math whizzes, but I hope it was because they went to codesculptor.org and they're programming away in Python. So look at that. We only learned Python a couple minutes ago. Some of you guys have prior experience, but it helps with math. Like I've said, real world application is very easy to use. So 2 to the 5th. Let's see if she's right. Let's see if she's right. Oh, 32, she's right. Okay. Well, she could have done it by hand. So we got to check. Who could tell me? Because I know you can't do this by hand. If you are, well, you might win $1 million in a math challenge. I know there's a couple of those. What's 2 to the 30th? Who could tell me what this is? I'm not gonna post it. The only way you could do it is through Python, or if you are Googling it, but don't use Google. This is a Python course. Everybody knows how to use Google. Who could tell me what this is? This will reaffirm that we've got everyone on Python. William, Ollie, awesome. Correct. Yeah, if you're doing this by hand, that's hard. That's a lot of computation. You might forget to, carry the 1, all that stuff. But yeah, very easy for computation. So I will ask you guys, do you guys have any questions for me as we wrap up this last session? Oh, wow. Where did this go? If it's not about Python, it could be about logistical questions. Where do we find, does everybody has Code Sculptor? We'll use this for the first couple weeks. Then we will All right, so we'll go through the installation process very briefly because it is important. So while I have you guys, and python.org, guys, go to python.org, python.org. So I'm going to post that, and we're going to download it so we have it for next time. And that will be part one of the homework. I have more ideas, but you can't really do Python without it downloaded. So go to this. Well, let me give you an actual link that's just, you know, something. Yeah, that's easy. You could just click on it, python.org. So everybody get that. Oh, let me make it even easier for you. Python.org/downloads. And I want you to click it. I'm on Mac, so you're with me, Sophie. So you just watch what I'm doing. I just clicked this Python, download Python 3.8.5. It's right here. It's very in big. It's a big yellow button. You can't miss it. Is anybody having trouble so far? Does anybody not know where to download it? I mean, there's a link right there. So just click it. And then when, Sophie, I don't know if you saw, and all the other Mac people, and it's going to be the same for Windows, but I clicked it, and then there's a package that download. It's all the way here. I don't know if you guys could see this, but there's a package right down here. I click the package, and then this pops up. What is this? What should I do? Well, you don't have to read all this. You just click continue, continue, agree, download a computer. This will take, and you just keep doing this. Install software. Yeah, you just do that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if you guys are all know the password on their computer because you may be using this. How many are you guys are using a parent's laptop or a parent's computer versus who are you are using your own computer? So as this downloads, yeah, it's very simple. Just do next, or continue, continue. There you go. Hey, it's Python. And now you can just do Python on your computer. What? Why is it? Well, remember, you got to use quotations. So, and then you just have Python, and it runs directly from your computer. And here's where you could, save programs and stuff. Very cool options. And it's going to format its .py. So, hello.py. I know. So I want to make sure we all get that. We're going to wrap up in a bit. Where do I go? So Sophie's asking, yeah, you just go to python.org/downloads. Can you not? Anne says she cannot see my screen. I think it's sharing. Is my screen not sharing? Am I talking to? Am I going crazy? You are screen. I am screen sharing. It says I'm screen
you're
sharing.
shared. It's okay.
All right. So just go, Sophie. Just go to python.org/downloads, and it's right there. So yeah, you're good. Does anybody else need any having any trouble downloading it? All right. Right, so Sophie, after you're done, this is the part that might be a little bit tricky, but after you're done, you should get something like this. So if you have it installed, you're gonna get a big folder, and in that folder, there's a lot of stuff. There's idle, there's install, and there's a bunch of things that you could do. But you could do this, or the most easy part is just to go to idle. So I think that's for Mac and Windows. So it's in a folder called Python 3.8, and you do files. So I think what you mean is, I mean, if you're on a Mac, I don't know what you mean by files, but it's going to be in your download section. So right here, this is your package. So it's going to say successfully here, and then it's going to be in your downloads folder. And it should bring you to, if not, you could just search Python, I believe, or idle. It's going to be in something called idle. So just search on your computer, and it might be, I think it should be similar for Mac and PC. So search idle and just click idle, and that's Python. So I don't know if Sophie, you need any more help, but that's how you do it. It's pretty straightforward. You download it, you
Hey,
install the package.
wait, when I press download, it brings me to this thing where it says Python 3.8.5, and that's it. I scrolled everywhere and I don't see the download button or something.
So what are you at? You already downloaded it, or?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so you got to download it. I mean, if you're on, so you're on right here, right?
Yeah.
You got to click download Python.
Yeah, I did.
And then it's going to come in the form of a package. So this package, you open up a package, and
It
then
didn't give me that.
Are you on a Mac or PC?
I don't.
Like, is
Pressed it
there
and
an
it
Apple
didn't
on your
give me it.
computer?
No.
Or is there a box with Windows? Is anybody else having a tough time?
Stop giving what you usually should.
And still can't see my screen. I think you might need to refresh or something. David, what should we do for the homework?
Actually, the homework for the first class is only the installation part. So,
okay.
And follow the PDF. Just try to practice a little bit. So as long as you can install the Python on your computer, and also you can go to that website codescope.org or .com, and that should be fun. Yeah, because this is the first class. It's only for the introduction.
Right. So step number one, well, first of all, I'm going to post this link of the PowerPoint that I'm using today, and it shows you not only what Python can do, but how to install it, and that goes right here. So I'm going to post this all in the Google Classroom. Now, if you have an itch to do Python and you can't figure out installing, you can't figure it out, and you really want to know what 2 to the power of 40 is, and that's bugging you, you got to use Python. You can go to this codescope.com that we were using today, and just, you don't need to install anything. It's a website. But it is important for you guys to have this on your computer. So anybody who's in the Google, and that's another thing, everybody, hope you are all in the Google Classroom. If you're not, and are having trouble, please let me know right now if you cannot get into Google Classroom. But you all are invited. All your emails invited, except this one. I see this might not go through because this is justknown@gmail.com. So unless there's a new website paradigm that I'm not aware of, this might be a Brooks.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
All right, so guys, make sure to get on the Google Classroom, and I will put, right now I'm adding the big class 1 slide for you to complete the first homework assignment, which is install Python. You can't do Python without first installing it. So I will figure this out. But that's it. Anybody have any questions? Anybody else struggling with the Google Classroom? We'll fix that. So Nelson, where could I access the Google Classroom? So you should have had a invite. So I don't know if you see your name here.
Yeah, or they
Or-
can use the class code to join. Just show them the class code should be fine.
Class code.
That's right, right,
Here.
exactly here.
So this is the class code. So you could go to Google Classroom, sign in. Hold on, let me figure out if this is actually how you do it. Google Classroom. And then how would they join a class using
I think
Classroom?
in the front page they have a plus sign. If you have a new class you never joined before, you can use the class code to join.
Okay,
Yeah,
so since I'm already in a class.
Yeah, you're already
then-
in, so that's why. If you if you press that plus sign on the right side, right corner, yes, plus.
okay.
Yeah, join
All
your
right,
class.
so-
Yes, that will do.
This is the way, if you're not getting an email, or if they email someone, but I think most of you guys are good. Yeah, thank you, Sophie, big help there. Yep, this is the class code. You go to Google, it's the first link. You could type in Google Classroom on Google, and then just do Google Classroom, and it brings you to here. Then press the plus button, which is going to be in the top right. I didn't see it because the Zoom. Just make sure you get that out of the way. And do join class, and do class code, and you're gonna be let in. Oh, I just stopped sharing. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it for now. That's your one job, is to get in the Google Classroom. There you'll see the slides from today, and from there you can install Python. All the instructions are there. But that is it for today. Thank you all for joining us today. And we'll see you next week. And make sure, if you could get on, feel free. This is always a good spot right here, the Fall 2020 Beginner Google Classroom, to paste all your cool projects. If you have the installer, you could save the project and post add, and then you could post a file. Or you could, if you don't want to do that, or you can't figure that out, just post, you could just copy and paste your code scope there. Like, maybe you did find out 2 to the power 40. Who knows? And you could just copy and paste here, and that's much easier. But thank you so much. I will see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Class is dismissed. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.
See you.